Thank you for joining me on a cold though bright day in northern Italy. Now, on a daily basis, the company housed behind me are inundated with requests from the media, the overwhelming majority of which are turned down because simply such demands on their time would make it impossible for them to function. Arguably, this company's racing division is the most famous in all of international motorsport. But as far as Formula One involvement is concerned, there's no question. This constructor literally towers above the opposition. They have claimed more pole positions, scored more points, won more races, secured more championships, drivers and constructors than any other team throughout the sport's 60-year history. And you find me this morning outside their factory trembling, not through the cold, but through excitement and anticipation for exactly where we are. Welcome to Maranello, the home of Scuderia Ferrari. Sadly, not everyone can enjoy the sort of unparalleled access that Ferrari have granted Speed today in Maranello. But what we can all enjoy is the amazing display of restored race and road cars on offer at the Galleria Ferrari, literally just over the road from the main factory gate. If you love technology, you're going to love this stuff. This array of Ferrari engines is quite spectacular, from the V6 turbos to the mighty fire-spitting V12s. When I was racing with Benetton in the mid-90s, we had no possibility of getting close to these engines. Now you can get right up close to them. This, the engine from 1990, a Testarossa, so called because the cam covers were painted in Rossa Corsa red. And again, more V12s, a spectacular array of technology. And this, the 1994 Formula One engine, 3.5-litre V12, but you want to see craftsmanship at Maranello, look at this, beautifully handmade Inconel exhaust systems made on-site by the fabricators. This little corner of the Galleria Ferrari is a real walk down memory lane for me. In every way, the cars around here sum up my time as a Ferrari mechanic in the mid-80s. This little fella, the Dino, beautifully understated, never sold as a Ferrari, but a Ferrari in every sense of the word. And over here on my left, the legendary, powerful 288 GTO, the supercar of the 80s. Personally, my favourite Ferrari of all time. And over here, the flat 12 Testarossa, the first Ferrari I worked on as a Ferrari mechanic in 1987. Everybody that we talk to at Maranello explains how important the heritage of the company is to them. And that's very evident here in the Galleria, with this 3-litre V12 gloriously restored 1957 250 California, right up to this, the 2008 version of the California. Well, the air intake looks similar. Other than that, there are a lot of differences, but it's clear that Ferrari's desire for perfection in engineering excellence continues. Well, we're here in the Ferrari Classic section of Maranello, and as you can see, surrounded by some absolutely beautiful road cars this time. I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Chris Vlahos of the Classic section at Maranello. Chris, thank you very much for sparing the time.
My pleasure.
A customer anywhere in the world, a collector of fine automobiles, Ferraris included, could approach you guys here at Maranello and say, hey, I've got this car, maybe made in the 60s, 70s, 50s, whenever it would be. Can you check it out, make sure the numbers on the engine and the gearbox and the transmission, the chassis number, they're all correct? That was that's the certification process.
That's the certification process. The car must be correct as it left the factory. We can recast a brand new block for any Ferrari car, engine block, gearbox, and give them an identity, a serial number using the next number in the series of that particular type.
Now, this is the thing I find fascinating. If the production run originally ended, let's say for argument's sake, at 100 engines, you will produce an engine in Ferrari which will carry number 101, the absolute next in line in the series.
The next in line in that particular type, yes, the series.
Even if that production run was separated by 45, 50 years.
Exactly. We use the original design drawings, and the drawings report everything.
Looking at all these early cars from the 50s and 60s, they were all hand-built. Now, in 2009, if we're dealing with restoration and it's hand-built restoration, how do we get those skills from the 50s and 60s up to the guys that are working on the cars in 2009?
We have a lot of the gentlemen that you see working around here are people who have worked in Ferrari for 30 years, 40 years, and have returned from retirement, basically, to work on these jewels. And these gentlemen are training our new generation. And we have also the technical documentation of the period that is extremely helpful for the restoration, for the maintenance of these cars.
It's incredible to think that a Ferrari owner who's loved his car for decades, probably, maybe been handed down in the family, has a problem with it, can bring it now with you guys, can bring it back to Maranello and possibly have the original mechanics, some of the guys that were building the cars or their sons working on the cars, to keep it going again.
It's very possible, yes.
Yeah. Chris, it's an amazing experience, some absolutely beautiful cars.
Thank you. Thank you.
History and modern technology. Maranello has it all. We'll be right back. When a driver complained to Enzo Ferrari that his car wasn't very streamlined, he said, well, you know, aerodynamics are for people that can't build engines. Well, it's clear in 2009 that philosophy has completely changed. The wind tunnel behind me here, designed and built by Renzo Piano, is the state-of-the-art facility at Maranello. Over 2,200 kilowatts of power and blades with a diameter of over 5 meters. You need fantastic aerodynamics to be competitive in modern Formula One. More than 20 years ago, I used to work for Ferrari, a mechanic at one of their dealerships back in central England, a time when Enzo Ferrari himself was running the company. Looking back on those formative years now, I realise what a very special and privileged time it was. But even this relatively close association with the parent company never afforded my access to where I'm standing right now, the race bay, the heart of Maranello's Formula One racing empire. It's an absolutely incredible experience for me to be finally standing right here. But there are just some fantastic memories around here. Cars that have been built for Berger and Alesi, all of the Schumacher Championship winning cars, all been built right here. And of course now the cars for Felipe Massa, Kimi Raikkonen too, all built and assembled exactly where I'm standing. For most people, Ferrari means Formula One. And here at Maranello, we have a fantastic display of restored Formula One equipment, including the engineer's stand over here to my left and the refueling equipment on my right. And personally, I'm in love with this car. One of my personal favourites, the 641 John Barnard designed V12 Formula One car, elegantly styled. If you ever wondered what happened to old Ferrari Formula One cars after the season is finished and prior to the new cars being born, well, here's your answer. And here are just 50 of them in the F1 Clienti project here at Maranello. And I have to tell you guys, this is like walking into Aladdin's workshop. It is unbelievable, the treasures here on offer. To explain more about that, I'm joined by the technical manager of F1 Clienti, Andrea Galletti. Now, all of these old cars, and some of them not that old, I mean only 2 or 3 years old, these Formula One cars here, they're all for private use?
Yes, correct. Actually, we are delivering now 2007 car. So as you can see, all these cars are from the 70, actually from the 70 to the recent time. And everybody can drive this car because are all in a running condition and all already sold and in a property of customer. They decide to leave the car here for storage, for maintenance, so they can just come and drive it whenever they want and whenever we organize the event at the track.
So Andrea, now let's talk about price. This is a business, of course. If I wanted to, let's say we talked about the Prost car before, one of my favourites, the 640, 641, 642 era, those John Barnard design cars. I like them a lot.
Beautiful shape.
Yes, beautiful shape. If I wanted to buy one of those cars off you guys, what's it going to cost me?
Let's say generally it can go from 400,000 euro up to 650 or 750. And if you go in a newer car, for example, 2000 era, say generally the price is around 1 million, 1.5 million, that can basically go up to 2.5, 2.9 if it's really the most winning car driven by Schumacher in a most, say, winning era.
A little earlier on when we were talking about the history of selling cars at Ferrari, you came in with an incredible document explaining a little bit about Ferrari himself many years ago, talking about selling his old Formula One cars, presumably, to finance the next car coming along the following year. Can you tell me a little bit about this amazing document?
Looking at the old documents and just to get all the blueprint and information that necessary to remake car, I end up with this very, very nice document that was like a little bit of description from approved by Enzo Ferrari, as you can see on the violet ink. Why you should buy a Formula One, no? For collector, they says you should buy a Formula One Ferrari used instead of a house for holiday, because of course the reason is much more enjoyable, is nicer, and is less expensive, but only if you don't use it at the track. So, and I think he knows the business since that time.
When we were talking about this document, and you said, yeah, I'll go and fetch it and bring it in and show you, and I saw the violet ink on it, and I know from my little bit of knowledge of Ferrari and working with Ferrari back in the 80s that Enzo always used to use violet ink to sign his signature. And I saw the violet ink and I started to tremble a little bit, thinking, wow, you're actually going to show me an original signed document from Enzo Ferrari, and you have it right there. Andrea, I can't thank you enough. I mean, this is absolutely superb for me as a mechanic to look around at these wonderful, wonderful cars. And what you guys are doing and your ability to do the restoration is just staggering. And again, thank you so much for sharing with us this wonderful document from Enzo Ferrari. Thank you.
A pleasure to be here.
Stick around. Join me for more from Maranello right after the break. I'm here at the Gestione Sportiva. It's from here that all Formula One activities are organised. We're going to go inside and talk to Stefano Domenicali, the Formula One team principal. All Formula One teams have their own emblem. It's a requirement of the sporting regulations that emblem features on each car produced by the team. Now, there's no question that the most famous emblem in the history of Formula One has to be that of Ferraris, with the prancing horse. But it's a very complex design once you start to look at the details of it. And to give more of an explanation to that, I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Stefano Domenicali, team principal of Ferraris. Stefano, can you just walk us through what we see with that famous Ferrari shield?
Well, I mean, the emblem is famous all around the world, but in the shape, in the colors that are inside, there is all the history of Ferrari. Basically, you know, on the top you can see the color of the Italian flag. Then the background of the shield is a yellow, that is the color of the town of Modena. And the prancing horse was a gift of the family of the very famous Italian aviation commander Francesco Baracca. That was the #1 pilot during the First World War. And the family wanted to give this emblem to Mr. Ferrari as a sign of respect when he started to build up the team. And this is, I would say that is maybe one of the most recognized emblems all around the world.
What does Ferrari mean to this small town of Maranello? You have hundreds, thousands of people working for you here. It must be a great employment opportunity for the people of the town. How do the people of Maranello react to Ferrari being in that little town?
Well, I mean, I think that Maranello is famous not only in Italy, but all around the world just for Ferrari. I mean, if you take away, with all respect of all the other business around this area that are important, like ceramics, I mean, if you take out this company, I mean, there is only the Catholic Church in the middle of the town, that's it. So it's really part of the history of this town and a part of the region. So you can feel it. If you speak with all the people that are living in Maranello, they're speaking about Ferrari.
You guys have got to me, what appear very different, distinct personalities. Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, chalk and cheese when you put them side by side. Both very good, gifted drivers, talented in the cockpit. How do you, Stefano, as team principal, manage and motivate these two completely different personalities to ensure you get the best out of your drivers?
Well, first of all, as you said, it's correct to say that these two drivers have different approach to their life. They are different characters, but they are really good guys, working together in the best way that they can, because they know that when you come to be a Ferrari driver, you have to make sure that the team is the most important thing. When you speak about Felipe, Brazilian, more Latin, it's in a way closer to the Italian feeling, and so for the guys maybe it's much easier to get closer to him. Kimi is totally different, Finnish. Of course, we needed to understand what was the way to communicate with a guy that has his personality, but he's a very loyal guy, very straightforward, not a lot of, I cannot say the right word, but not a lot of wording around, just very straightforward, very, very, very intelligent and very talented.
Well, Stefano, good luck to Ferrari.
Thank you very much, and I just take the opportunity to say hello to all our American, US fan and supporter, because we feel it. I really hope that we'll be able to come to US very soon. Never say never. Looking forward to come.
We have driver interviews and a whole lot more, so join us again at Maranello after the break. We've arrived at the Logistica, this futuristic-looking building behind me, built at Maranello in 2000. And again, more of that clash between the old and the new architecture we see here at Maranello. The building behind is designed to hold all the equipment that will be distributed to the race and test teams and then transported off around the world to the different venues to be used for the race teams. Now, there's not just equipment and managers in there today, there are two drivers, and we're going to speak to them right now. Felipe, thank you very much for sparing us the time.
No, my pleasure.
Everybody on the outside knows Ferrari is very special. When you joined Ferrari, had you any idea exactly what you were stepping into?
I had an idea about the story, you know, about how important is the team. But after you get here, you really realize how important is the team for the whole world, for the whole country. And it's like a religion, you know, because everybody's looking to you, everybody wants to be in your place, everybody, you know, you have a big pressure, but you are in the great team. I mean, you have possibilities to win, and that's what every driver pray the whole career to be.
When you joined Ferrari, did you have any idea how special it was?
I mean, I didn't have big expectations, because it's hard to always, when you don't know the team very well and you come and try to work with them as well as you can. So, I mean, every team is slightly different than what I knew from the past, and for sure when you come to Ferrari in Carnegie, you expect to have a slightly different place to come, and because the history and all that stuff. But I enjoyed my time here, and it's just a very easy place to work with the people, and very warm, nice feeling in the team.
You're a very open guy, that's clear to see. How is your relationship with your mechanics and engineers?
Well, I'm very, very close. First of all, I speak Italian, so Italy is like my second country. So I'm Brazilian, so it is quite similar, the Brazilian and the Italian. So I'm very, very close to my guys. Not just my guys, but the whole team, even the mechanics of Kimi, the whole team, I'm very close to them. And we get along very, very well. They know about my life, I know about their life. So I think it's very important to be very, very close to your people, because it's so important to, you know, for the relationship.
Did Kimi Räikkönen always want to be a Formula One driver for Ferrari? Or did Kimi Räikkönen just want to get involved in Formula One and try and become world champion?
I mean, I wanted to be Formula One driver and be in the top team, so it didn't really matter if it's whatever team it was, as long as it was top of the list. And of course, Ferrari in the end is one of the most famous teams, and the history is there, and is different than the other teams in the end. So I think it's a great place to be. So I'm very happy to be part of the big history and Ferrari team.
From the outside, standing in the grandstands, watching the race, or even in the pit lane, looking around, there is so much activity, so many people around. When you're inside the Ferrari garage and you're working with the guys, does it become like a separate zone where everything else is blocked out?
Kind of, yeah, for sure. We have our meetings, which is very important. You always concentrate on what you're doing. You don't even care about what's happened outside of the paddock of normal life, and you just care about your job. You care about the meeting, concentrate to make a good car, competitive car, and that's usually our job.
How much do you want to end up as world champion?
Well, if I win 1 point in the front is enough.
Cheers. Stick around, join me for more from Maranello right after the break. No trip to Maranello would be complete without a visit here. Fiorano, Ferrari's private test track, something no other Formula One team can boast of. Behind me you can see the pit complex, very small, where Ferrari run their cars from. All the shakedown runs would have been run here, the F60 would have been run from here. But as you can hear now, it's very quiet. It's late afternoon, the sun is beginning to go down, no activity. Many of the Ferrari employees are off for the weekend. But there's more to Fiorano than just the track. Behind me is another Ferrari icon many of you will be familiar with, Enzo Ferrari's house there, where it's rumoured he used to spend a lot of nights and lived there. But talking to some of the Ferrari personnel here today, they say not so much really accommodation. He used to use it more as a day office. It's still in use today. There's a gym on the top floor, and it's used for accommodation for the drivers. Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, both here today at Maranello doing PR work, and they spent the night there last night. Well, this has been an incredible experience for me, and one which I sincerely hope you've enjoyed too. Behind me, on Final Surprise, a jet presented to Enzo Ferrari, and you can see on the tail fin the emblem of Francesco Baracca. More of that past to the future. All the excitement shown by the current engineers and mechanics, indeed the genuine passion displayed by the entire organisation, to me, it can all be summed up in just 2 words. It's the battle cry of the Tifosi, the legions of fans that turn up to watch their cars in action. And no matter where those 2 red cars are racing, the grandstands of the world will fill to the brim and resound to their passionate cry, Sempre Ferrari. Always Ferrari.